How desperate do you have to be to keep calling the same team over and over again, begging for their biggest star, only to get rejected every single time and still keep trying? The audacity is breathtaking. The persistence borders on harassment. And yet, somewhere in the bowels of Chase Center, the Golden State Warriors front office continues to operate like a lovesick teenager who refuses to take no for an answer. For the past 18 months, they've been conducting what can only be described as a relentless pursuit campaign, repeatedly dialing up their Western Conference rivals with the same impossible request: give us LeBron James. This isn't just about basketball anymore. This has evolved into something far more personal, more obsessive, more potentially destructive to the entire balance of power in the NBA. The Warriors aren't just trying to improve their roster. They're attempting to orchestrate the most seismic shift in basketball history while simultaneously driving a dagger through the heart of their biggest rivals' championship dreams. NBA insider Jake Fisher's revelation reads like something out of a corporate espionage thriller. I'm told that the Warriors have called the Lakers on multiple occasions over the past 18 months to see whether there is any trade pathway to pairing James with Stephen Curry, Fisher reported, confirming what many suspected but few could prove. Multiple occasions. 18 months. This isn't casual interest. It's a systematic campaign designed to wear down resistance through sheer persistence. Imagine being Rob Pelinka, trying to navigate the complexities of building a championship roster around LeBron and Anthony Davis, only to have your phone ring repeatedly with the same voice asking the same impossible question. What would it take? The psychological warfare element cannot be understated. Every phone call serves multiple purposes. It keeps LeBron's name in trade discussions, it plants seeds of doubt about his long-term commitment to Los Angeles, and it maintains pressure on Lakers management to either fully commit to their aging superstar or consider alternatives they'd prefer not to contemplate. Golden State's timing has been particularly calculating. The initial contact came last February, right before the trade deadline, when LeBron's frustration with the Lakers was reaching a boiling point. The team was struggling, chemistry issues were surfacing, and questions about organizational direction were becoming impossible to ignore. The Warriors struck when their target was most vulnerable. The Paris Olympics provided Golden State with something they'd never possessed before: tangible evidence that LeBron James and Stephen Curry could coexist as teammates rather than rivals. For years, their relationship had been defined by epic playoff battles and mutual respect from a distance. Paris changed that dynamic completely. Watching LeBron and Curry share the court for Team USA wasn't just about basketball, it was a chemistry test conducted on the world's biggest stage. The results were undeniable. Two generational talents who could complement each other's skills while maintaining their individual excellence. The Warriors' front office undoubtedly watched every minute of Olympic footage, analyzing how the partnership functioned and imagining how it might translate to their system. The timing of their continued pursuit makes perfect sense within this context. Having seen proof of concept in Paris, Golden State's confidence in the potential pairing reached new levels. They weren't just gambling on talent anymore. They were betting on demonstrated compatibility between two players who had successfully shared basketball's biggest moments. This Olympic experience also provided LeBron with a taste of what winning culture looks like outside of Los Angeles. Being around Curry's professionalism, work ethic, and championship mentality for weeks might have opened his eyes to possibilities he hadn't previously considered. The Warriors certainly hope that's the case. From Los Angeles' perspective, these repeated phone calls represent both flattery and torture. On one hand, having another championship organization desperately covet your best player validates his continued elite status. On the other hand, each conversation forces difficult internal discussions about organizational direction and long-term planning. Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka have consistently rejected Golden State's advances, but the persistence creates ongoing pressure that no front office wants to endure. Every conversation plants questions. Are we maximizing LeBron's remaining prime years? Could trading him actually improve our championship odds? What happens if he demands a trade? The Lakers' current roster construction adds complexity to these discussions. While LeBron remains elite, the supporting cast around him and Anthony Davis hasn't consistently performed at championship levels. Age concerns, injury histories, and chemistry issues create legitimate questions about Los Angeles' ability to compete with teams like Boston, Denver, and Phoenix. Golden State's continued interest also affects contract negotiations and future planning. How do you build long-term roster strategies when another team is actively trying to poach your centerpiece? The uncertainty creates decision-making paralysis that can handicap organizational progress. At 40 years old, LeBron James faces decisions that will define the final chapter of his legendary career. His statistical production remains remarkable: 24.4 points, 7.8 rebounds, and 8.2 assists per game on 51.3% shooting last season. But individual excellence doesn't guarantee team success. The Lakers' organizational direction increasingly focuses on younger players and future flexibility, creating natural tension with LeBron's win-now mentality. While he's never publicly requested a trade, the conditions for considering such a move have never been more favorable from his perspective. Golden State offers everything Los Angeles currently cannot: a proven championship system, complementary superstar talent in Curry, and organizational stability that extends from ownership through coaching staff. The Warriors' culture of excellence and attention to detail might appeal to someone who's spent years dealing with Lakers' dysfunction. The no-trade clause in LeBron's contract provides him with ultimate control over his destination, meaning any potential move would require his explicit approval. This gives him leverage to demand specific conditions or destinations while maintaining plausible deniability about actively seeking a trade. Golden State's persistence suggests they've developed a comprehensive strategy that extends far beyond simple roster improvement. Adding LeBron would create the most formidable duo in NBA history while simultaneously weakening their primary Western Conference competition. The basketball fit makes intuitive sense despite initial skepticism. Curry's off-ball excellence would provide LeBron with the spacing necessary for his drive and kick game, while LeBron's playmaking would create easier scoring opportunities for Curry. Both players have demonstrated willingness to sacrifice individual statistics for team success. Defensively, the Warriors system could mask some of LeBron's age-related limitations while maximizing his basketball IQ and help defense abilities. Playing alongside Draymond Green and within Steve Kerr's schemes could extend his effectiveness on both ends of the court. The championship implications are staggering. A Curry-LeBron partnership would immediately establish Golden State as overwhelming title favorites while creating must-see television that drives ratings and revenue across the league. Any potential LeBron trade involves complex financial considerations that extend beyond simple salary matching. The Warriors would need to construct packages involving multiple players and potentially future draft assets to satisfy both salary cap requirements and Lakers' return demands. Players like Andrew Wiggins, Jonathan Kuminga, and various role players could form the foundation of trade discussions, but Los Angeles would likely demand additional compensation reflecting LeBron's unique value. The Warriors' willingness to pay premium prices demonstrates their belief in the partnership's championship potential. Luxury tax implications add another layer of complexity. Both organizations operate in expensive markets with ownership groups capable of absorbing significant financial penalties, but the numbers involved in any LeBron deal would test even their deep pockets. As February's trade deadline looms, the dynamics surrounding this ongoing saga continue evolving. LeBron's expiring contract creates urgency for all parties involved, while the Lakers' early season performance will influence their willingness to consider dramatic changes. Golden State's continued pursuit keeps pressure on Los Angeles while maintaining hope for their own championship ambitions. Each phone call reminds everyone involved that this situation remains fluid despite repeated rejections. The Warriors aren't just chasing headlines with these persistent overtures. They genuinely believe the Curry-LeBron combination could create basketball magic that transcends individual accomplishments. Whether they're right remains theoretical until someone finally answers their calls with yes instead of no. If this trade ever materializes, it would represent one of the most shocking roster moves in NBA history. The sight of LeBron James in Warriors colors would fundamentally alter how we understand player loyalty, organizational dynamics, and championship pursuit in modern basketball. For now, the Lakers continue holding firm while the Warriors keep dialing. But persistence has a way of wearing down resistance, and desperation can create opportunities that logic suggests shouldn't exist. Golden State's obsession with LeBron James might eventually pay off in ways that reshape the entire NBA landscape. Can you imagine the absolute chaos if LeBron actually ended up in Golden State? Are the Warriors being brilliantly persistent or just embarrassingly desperate with these repeated calls? And honestly, if you were LeBron, would you even consider leaving LA for one last championship run with Curry? Drop your hottest takes in the comments because this story is far from over, and smash that like button if you're as fascinated by this behind-the-scenes drama as we are.